Okay, everybody, welcome again to RedTalk. We have here with us Mike. Mike and I just met. He met my wife right outside. As I told you all, there's basketball tournaments going on right now and lots of action. And he has his son here with us who's standing outside the camera. But I had to ask Mike to come here to tell us a little bit about what he is doing, because I think it's really exciting and you need to know about it. So Mike, first of all, give us your full name and the name. Do you have a name
Sure.
for your organization?
Yes, so my full name is Michael duVigneaud.
Okay.
Within F3, that's the group, I'm known as Duggar.
Okay.
Everybody in F3 gets a nickname. It makes it real easy to figure out who people are and remember, one more John, one more Michael, easy to forget, but when you meet somebody who's named Leprechaun or Detention or Whiskey, it kind of tends to stick.
Okay.
F3 stands for Fitness, Fellowship, Faith.
Fitness, Fellowship,
and
Faith. Oh, I like that.
And the idea is that we're not a religious organization. I jokingly say that some people some people think we're a cult, though, because once people get involved in it, once men get involved in it, they get very enthusiastic about it. Because the problem is that for most adult males, they have over the years gained a pound or two each year, and by the time they reach about 40, they're overweight, right? And that extra weight every day that they wake up leaves them feeling tired and a little bit defeated, right? It's hard to carry around that extra weight all day long. So that's one issue. The second issue is that most adult males have no friends. When you're younger, it's, hey, Michael, go play with little Johnny, and you spend your time. And then in high school, you play basketball with some on a team, and there's this camaraderie and fellowship and this communication, right, which men are not really good at. But there's some level of communication about the things you're going through in life at that point. But as you get further along, and you have a job, and maybe you're married and have children and these other responsibilities, those bonds, while they may still exist in the background, sort of disappear on the day-to-day. And so as men go through their lives, they find that they're facing all these difficulties. Marriage isn't easy.
Right.
Raising a family isn't easy.
That's right.
Dealing with things in work and finances is not easy.
Right.
And so what happens is the man, the individual thinks they're going through something very unique, when actually it's very common. But we don't sit down and talk. We don't lie down on a couch and say, here's how I feel. That's not what guys do, right? So what ends up happening is they begin to make bad decisions.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And they also become very inward focused at that point.
Right.
Now, what F3 does is we're a free outdoor boot camp style workout. We're peer led. There's nobody.
Did you say free?
Free.
Did you hear what he just said?
That one of the F's?
F-R-E-E, free?
F-R-E-E.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely free. There's never a charge. It's open to all men of all backgrounds and of all faiths. And the idea is it's held early in the morning. It's typically held outside at just maybe the local park or the local school or a church parking lot. We don't need fancy equipment. You don't need fancy equipment to get a good workout.
Right.
We do use other what we call coupons to enhance our workouts. Occasionally that'll be like cinder blocks or bricks or maybe just a log that we found or a boulder or a tire. Or, it just depends on the creativity of the individual leading the workout. But held outdoors, rain or shine, heat or cold, right?
Tell me this. What prompted all of this in the first place?
So it all started in Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a men's boot camp style workout associated with one church. One guy ran it every week, and it started to gain in popularity to the point where he said, "This is getting too big. I don't want to deal with so many people. If you're not on the list, you're out." Now, two of the individuals that had been participating in this had seen and felt, the transformation. They'd gotten back in shape. They felt every time they showed up, they really returned for the fellowship. That's the kind of the secret, right? That's what really brings guys back. You can get a workout on your own, but what brings you back out is this sense of hanging out with the guys, right? But in a constructive environment.
Right.
And so they said, this is not something we need to limit. This is something we need to give away.
Yeah.
And so they approached the leader of the group and said, do you mind if we take the extras? And we said, do what you want. So they sent out texts and emails and whatnot. And January 1st of 2011, I often think about that. I don't know about your sales skills, but I'm not sure I could get anybody out of bed for a workout early in the morning on New Year's Day, right? But so they expected about 5 guys to show up. In actuality, 35 showed up, and then 35 grew to 40, and 40 grew to 50, and 50 grew to 60, and they said, this is getting too big, what do we do? Well, let's just split it. So they split into 2 groups, and then those groups started to grow, and they said, well, what do we do now? Well, let's just split it. And so that's what's happening. It's just this, it's kind of like multi-level marketing. As guys get into it, as they get back into shape, as they sense this, as they gain a sense for this brotherhood, we call it Brothers of the Gloom, right? This fellowship with other men, guys who are going to support you in your darkest hours, they become motivated. And this is really the ultimate goal of F3, is we want men to get back in shape, have this sense of support, which it does what I call puts a little steel in their back. They walk a little taller. They are a little more confident when they go about their daily lives, and they're ready to face harder decisions in life and make good decisions about them. And that individual is what wants to become what we call a him. Him is a high impact male.
High impact male.
Him.
I like that.
Right?
Like
they want to go out and have impact on their community. They want to go out, instead of sitting there wagging their finger saying, there's the problem, I wish somebody would fix it. We turn to each other and say, hey, why don't you fix it? Why don't we fix it? Let's go have impact. Let's get the job done. And this manifests itself in a lot of individual ways. It can be supporting. We have one member who is a stage 4 colorectal cancer survivor. So he said, hey, do you think we could participate in the Scope Run, MD Anderson Scope Run as a group? And he said, sure, you organize it. So he organized it. So we've just finished our 3rd year of doing that. We've become a platinum level sponsor. And because of the enthusiasm and the money that we raised voluntarily, right? We actually embarrassed the then gold sponsors and platinum sponsors to up their ante.
Hello.
Yeah, so we've had impact beyond directly. We've had a multiplying impact on that. And so that's one exciting thing. You know, Harvey, I often talk about this. Hurricane Harvey. Lots of great stories about the way that people came together, put aside everybody's differences to support each other as a community. What we did is we reached out before the storm to each member and said, hey, if you end up having a problem, let us know. Storm came, it hit, we went around, we went down the list, called everybody. You have a problem? You know, your house flood, your house flood, your house flood. We got a list of 6 guys whose houses had flooded. Next thing you know, 25 guys descend on the house. We ripped out the flooring. We ripped out the. Well, what then next happens is the neighbor says, "Wow, you know, that's pretty cool. There's this woman down the block who needs some help." We ended up clearing out a house that 2 nurses from MD Anderson's Cancer Center were at. In turn, they asked and called us. We helped 2 women who were going through breast cancer, whose houses had completely flooded. They were undergoing radiation and chemo. Right? We went and helped them. We helped a 74-year-old blind widow who had 3 feet of water in her house, and the only help when we got there had been her 21-year-old son.
Wow.
We did this out of a sense of just wanting to serve.
That is awesome.
In the end, just to finish that little story, in the end, we demoed 30 houses. Free.
30 houses.
Yeah, one of the other ones, another example is one of the members of our group in Bel Air was friends with the principal of the Condon Elementary School. So we reached out to the principal. Hey, any of the teachers have a problem? He gave us a private list of the teachers. We reached out to them. You know, they've got a fixed budget, right? They had already been hit by the tax floods and prior floods where, you know, $13,000, $15,000 to get your house ripped up and have the sheetrock torn out and the flooring torn out. We showed them did it for free. They were so incredibly grateful.
So all of these guys working together, making a difference.
Absolutely.
I love that. I like that him.
Yeah, him. High impact male.
High impact male.
Absolutely.
Now that's fantastic. So how can we find out more about your organization? Give the name again.
So F3.
How we can reach
if you wanted to, you could find a lot of information at f3nation.com.
f3nation.com.
And more locally, f3houston.com. There's a list of
because this thing is spread out to other cities.
Oh yeah, there's F3 in San Antonio, Dallas, Austin. It's on the West Coast. It's in San Francisco. It's on up to Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
I helped to co-found it here in Houston. Houston. We started with one location on October 1st of 2016, sorry. October 1st of 2016. We now have 16 locations.
16 locations.
And we have 2 more ready to go.
Oh man, this is fantastic. Let's give Mike a hand.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother.
My pleasure.
Fantastic.
My
I'm
pleasure.
looking forward to us doing some things together.
Absolutely. Any
And,
way that we can, any way that I can help you establish this in a community
Yes.
of need,
Yes.
right, where it can help men
Okay.
get in shape,
All right.
develop that brotherhood,
Mhm.
and have them go out and have impact on their community. I'm all there.
Okay, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
do it, Mike.
Awesome.
Let's do it. Okay, my
Thanks.
friend.